Michael Flynn was thought to have been a good choice for the role of National Security Advisor. The former Army Ranger had a seemingly brilliant military career, serving 33 years in the U.S. Army, including time spent in combat, and was appointed Director of the Defense Intelligence Agency under the Obama administration. Though he was the White House National Security Advisor for just 24 days, he certainly left an indelible mark on this still young administration. With us tonight, someone who has known and known of General Flynn for more than a decade, retired four-star U.S. Army General Barry McCaffrey, decorated combat veteran of Vietnam, former battlefield commander in the Persian Gulf, and an MSNBC military analyst. And we welcome back Mike McFaul, former U.S. ambassador to Russia during the Obama administration, these days a senior fellow at Stanford. Gentlemen, welcome. And General, I'll start with you. You called General Flynn the best intelligence officer of his generation, something I think you still hold to if we set aside that time. You later, however, turned on him when his public utterances started to change, and you said you feared he was demented. Retired General Mark Hertling, who I believe was in the service when you were, said on television tonight, something is genuinely wrong with General Flynn, and demons got a hold of him. General, what do you think went wrong with General Flynn?
Well, it's hard to say. First of all, he clearly was one incredibly courageous, effective intelligence officer. We owe a lot to him and General Stan McChrystal. My guess is we would have had a dozen 9/11s if it wasn't for JSOC, the Special Operations Group that Flynn was such an important part of. Then he got into the Defense Intelligence Agency, and I think he started to get target fixation, chasing the white whale. He started to selectively accept information. They thought he was a little bit off his game. And then when the Obama team fired him, I think that's when he went into a dark zone. His behavior, I mean, retweeting Pizzagate with pedophile rings and basements and Hillary Clinton chanting at the RNC, this was pretty nutty stuff. So I think it's a sad day for Mike Flynn. And then, of course, the subsequent behavior in the White House, where it looks as if he was working on private business and public office, that starts to veer into clearly illegal behavior.
Ambassador, in your days since you were a diplomat, you have tried on this and other broadcasts to flesh out this Russia fascination. Some people are convinced it's Russian collusion. Did that become any clearer for you today by dint of what he has been charged with?
Yes and no. So yes, to the question, is there something bigger here? I think the answer to that is yes. Remember, what General Flynn was being misleading about is rather surprising. I mean, Brian, we talked about this way back when. Mm-hmm. Why was he being so elusive about this? There must be some other reason for it beyond just the so-called the Logan Act, which we've talked a lot about, but there's got to be something bigger here. And the second piece to that, of course, is we've talked about lots of other things that General Flynn did with the Russians, with the Turks, and other things. This was a very small piece today. And very clearly, Special Counsel Mueller has made it clear that they are talking about much bigger things. That suggests that this is just the beginning of something much bigger, not the end of a process.
And, General, when you read his statement, this is a guy who signed up to fight for his country and did, saying now that he's going to do what's right for his country. Do you think this is a guy capable of getting back on true north and truly serving the Mueller staff and rooting out what went wrong?
I think probably the answer is yes, emphatically yes. And, you know, let me add something that I said at the time when General Flynn was fired after his 3-week stint as the NSC advisor. I've worked directly with several NSC advisors. I've been out of that White House in 3 administrations. There is no way that he wasn't daily, hourly reporting his contacts to the President of the United States. That's speculation. I don't have evidence of that. But it'd be ridiculous for him to not be doing that proudly, saying, boss, look at the contacts I've gotten. So I think at the end of the day, we're going to see quite clearly that it wasn't senior White House officials. It was more than likely directly with the President of the United States.
Okay, Ambassador, let's agree we're without proof yet, but do you concur, based on your experience, that he had, at minimum, air cover to be doing what he did and at most was reporting back on a regular basis to the boss?
Again, it's speculation, so you said that, Bryant, at the outset, but I agree with General McCaffrey. I was part of the 2008 transition. I worked at the National Security Council for 3 years. You're not going to reach out to negotiate with Ambassador Kislyak about something quite sensitive without being in touch with the transition team, and I would speculate at the very top. Now, I don't know that, but I remember our transition in 2008. We, first of all, tried to avoid all contacts with all foreigners. We were focused on trying to get our team together. But to the extent that you're talking at all, you know, talking points for the president as he makes his courtesy calls, that's something I did for President-elect Obama, you're coordinating that with the very top. And that's why I just suspect we're going to learn more about exactly who was coordinating these interactions with Ambassador Kislyak.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.